This video is sponsored by Sakurako.
Alright, so we got the 216 spoilers, and we're continuing the craziness of Sukuna's resurgence, because in this chapter, he's entering the quote-unquote bath that we've been hearing a lot about. In order to get into that, let me just quickly go over what had happened in the previous chapter. So we saw Maki and Yuji taking on Sukuna in a somewhat competitive battle. I mean, they weren't able to really do too much, but they were able to keep him at bay, and it eventually got to the point of Urarame showing up, and they used their maximum technique and wound up freezing Maki and Yuji, and this gave Sukuna enough time to summon Nu and fly away. But before he did, he said, I need to polish up this form, prepare the bath. And that brings us to the beginning of this chapter, where Sukuna, Kenjaku, and Urarame all meet up with each other back in the Zhoniin clan, and they dress up in their ritual robe in assisting with the bath. And Urarame asks why Kenjaku isn't finishing the culling games, and he replies he wants to merge Tengen, but first he's interested in the quote-unquote bath. Okay, so this is something that definitely needed to be addressed, because he seemingly has everything set up and in the palm of his hand. We're still not privy to a lot of information. Like, a lot of stuff kind of happened like off panel, and a lot of time went by without us seeing exactly what was going on. Like, I think we're missing like an entire 24 hours or maybe even 48 hours of time here. But what had happened was the soldiers that had entered the culling game were used successfully, and their cursed energy was added to the barrier of the culling game. And then of course Kenjaku was able to defeat Tsukumo, and I guess Tengen by proxy, because Tengen wound up like crawling up in a ball or something after the big black hole battle thing that went down, and I guess Kenjaku has control of Tengen. And I don't know if Kenjaku necessarily needs like tangible form, because Tengen has said that they're more of an abstraction now than anything. Like, they kind of just exist in the atmosphere. And as he said before, he's going to use the barrier of the culling game to merge that aspect of Tengen with all of the people in Japan, and they're going to make this big cursed monster thing. So yeah, understandable that Kenjaku is going to take his time before doing that, because, you know, that's going to kind of take us into the very end of the series if he does that right now. But anyway, the bath was originally a ritual to incantate vessel that had been treasured as family heirlooms. The vessels are soaked for 10 months and 10 days in a solution of cursed energy, obtained by crushing and straining carefully selected creatures with an inhuman poison. So that's fascinating. This is some Heian era stuff that we're getting some insight into here. Like, we've never heard anything about this. But as for the whole to incantate vessels that had been treasured as family heirlooms, I think that implies that this is like something that was going on for a while. Like, I don't think Kenjaku necessarily invented this whole process of reincarnating sorcerers or cursed objects into the bodies of others, but it seems like this was way more of a common thing back in the day.
But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Sakurako. Sakurako is a monthly authentic Japanese snack subscription box. Sakurako is also supporting local Japanese snack makers, because each box comes with 20 traditional, authentic, and artisan Japanese snacks, including Japanese tea and a special Japanese tableware. The tableware this month is a kanji side dish. I really like this one. It also comes with this awesome booklet that gives you information on all of the snacks in the box, as well as information about Japan and its culture. This month's box is Taste of Japan. Did you know that Japan has 47 prefectures with its unique food culture and history? This month, Sakurako invites you on a journey to sample all of what Japan has to offer. The box is packed with authentic and regional treats. They're unique to each region and full of local flavor. Take a bite of the Kuromitsu Kanako Mochi from Hokkaido, or indulge in the rich and buttery caramel nut sable from Okinawa. So we always get awesome tea from Sakurako, and this month it's Gion Sujiri Sencha from Kyoto. And this is just delightful. You're really not going to be able to find anything like this in the States, I don't think. And I tried it with the matcha round boro. This thing is so satisfying. It has a really nice texture, and the matcha flavor is so good. I also tried these mayonnaise arare. This is such a great snack with a really interesting flavor. And lastly, I tried the Hitoake Cafe cream cake. This was probably my favorite in the box. This is just everything I'm looking for in a pastry, and the cream inside tastes so good. So guys, if you're interested in getting your very own Sakurako box, please check out the link in the description, and make sure you use code Zhoniin. That way you're going to get $5 off your first box. Thanks, guys.
Kenjaku asks, why are they going through all this? To which Urarame replies, it's to get closer to the demon. all this ritual is to suppress Megumi Fushigoro's soul deeper into the depths. Whoa, so that's kind of a twist, at least in my opinion. So Kenjaku is asking questions, which is not typical of him. He usually is the one with the answer. And I thought that they were all kind of on the same page here, but I guess even Kenjaku isn't aware of the full plan here, because it seems like Urarame and Sukuna didn't tell him everything. But I guess he just had to compromise because he needed someone as powerful as Sukuna to get to where he needed to be. But as for this whole thing getting closer to the demon, this just makes me more excited, and I guess it ties back into the Angel stuff, because a couple chapters back, Angel revealed that they knew Sukuna and that he was the quote-unquote disgraced one, or the fallen one, and now this whole demon stuff is obviously relating back to that. Maybe there is some kind of ascended level of sorcerers, where if you get strong enough and have enough knowledge, you can become something more, and you start to become like these quote-unquote angels and or demons. I speculated in my previous review that Kenjaku could be altering his own soul, similar to what Mahito was doing, simply because Maki brought up cutting Sukuna with her sword, which I think is going to happen, but it would be too easy for him to die from it. So I think altering your soul might have something to do with this angel of demon stuff. Sukuna completes the bath ritual. So yeah, he gets out of the bath and then puts on a robe again. And then the scene cuts to Sendai Colony, where Uro and Ryu notices an incoming creepy aura from afar. Uro is totally scared, realizing who it is, and says, "Here he comes, the king of curses." So this is a huge, exciting twist. I did not expect things to move this quickly, but Sukuna is already in Sendai and he's meeting up with Uro and Takako. And as we speculated before, Uro does know who Sukuna is. It was like kind of implied that she did. Sukuna instantly arrives in front of Ryu and asks if he won't retreat. But before Ryu could even act, Sukuna slashes him, but he laughs at Ryu, saying, "What are you? I was going to cut you into 3 pieces, but I can't do it." So we're quickly going into Sukuna versus Ryu, and yeah, it looks like he's trying to cleave and dismantle him, but Ryu is surprisingly holding his own here. Like, he is getting slashed, but he's not, getting split apart by it. But he's visibly worried by Sukuna, and we're gonna find out why, because Sukuna apologizes, saying he underestimated Ryu, but he would get serious for the next attack. Uro steps back and tries to use Granite Blast, but before he can even finish attack, Sukuna slices off Ryu's face. Rest in peace. So yeah, this is as hype as it is unfortunate. Like, he is straight up slicing through Ryu's head here, meaning that Ryu is pretty much dead, and that's unfortunate because I really liked Ryu. He had a lot of potential, and I was really looking forward to seeing where his character arc was going, but unfortunately it was all for naught because he was just ultimately meant to be a jobber to Sukuna. So yeah, it is what it is. But on the final page of the chapter, Sukuna encounters Yorozu. This is the sorcerer who took over Sumiki and is also from the Heian era. And apparently these two have a history because Yorozu had a one-sided crush or even unrequited love for Sukuna. So this is going to be super interesting, and I'll go way more into this in my review on Sunday, so subscribe for that if you haven't already. But that's pretty much it for the spoilers, guys. Let me know what you thought about this chapter in the comments, and if you liked the video, please give it a like. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.